jump right into it.
Ridiculous. I'm sorry. I see.
Alright guys, we're on our way to get the power steering pump. So the situation is we replaced the steering box, replaced the lines, and replaced the steering shaft, the pitman arm, the drag link, but that wouldn't really have anything to do with it. That wouldn't have anything to do with the power steering. But so we replaced that lines and power steering box, and hooked it all back up, and bled it like a madman, like multiple times. Bled it, drained it, checked multiple things like the valves in the power steering pump in the steering box, made sure they weren't stuck, they weren't. Put it back together, still no power steering. So we're not sure if it's the vacuum pump or the power steering pump. I'm really hoping it's not the vacuum pump, because that's like $400. What we're gonna do is, the power steering pump's only like $100. I dropped off the core yesterday, and we're going to pick up, they had to order one, so we're on our way to get that right now. So we're gonna put that power steering pump on, put it all back together, and we're going to hope that is the issue. We looked in there a lot of times. When that power steering pump fails or the vacuum pump fails, since they're in line, it's like timing gears. In the timing case, those gears drive the vacuum pump, and then there's a shaft to the power steering pump that spins the power steering pump to create power steering. So sometimes that rod, it's like two teeth on the vacuum pump, and then two teeth facing the other way to connect it to the shaft on the power steering pump, and those teeth will break off, and then it won't spin the power steering pump. But I didn't have that issue. We opened it up and it was looking actually really nice. So we took the power steering pump apart completely, looked in there, everything looked fine, but I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of destroy the case on the power steering pump. So we're just gonna get a new one and see what happens. Really hoping that's the fix. If not, what I didn't know is that I have to have the vacuum pump on the truck to test it. So we will be able to check if that's bad once we get the new power steering pump on, because you can't just put the vacuum pump on, it'll leak oil, I believe. But we'll get them both on. We'll test the vacuum pump, we'll test the power steering. Well, we'll have a new power steering pump, so it should work. And then if the vacuum pump's good and we have the new power steering pump on, so that should be good, we'll put the lines on, fill it with fluid, bleed it, and see if we have power steering. If not, then I'm gonna say the only other thing that could be wrong could be just the blue top steering gearbox is faulty, and in that case we'll have to get in touch with them and get them to send us a new one because it's warranted. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll see you guys at Advanced Auto Parts, and then we'll get after it. Alright, we're pulling up in the mom car to Advance. Watch out. Let's get this pump, and let's rip home and get her on, and hope that's what was bad. Alright, my boy Gary hooked us up with the power steering pump, so now we can get after it and fix this thing. Alright guys, while we drive home, let's talk about how shot this little Hyundai is. First off, it's so slow. Like, it is so painfully slow. Like, you mat it, it just feels like it's got an automatic slush box. Yeah, you know, that probably is kind of what it is. But, I mean, not that it's supposed to be, it's a fucking SUV. It's not supposed to be anything fast, but no balls at all. Like, watch this. And it sounds like it's gonna explode when you get into the higher RPMs. Like you get past $4,000 and it just goes. It sounds like shit's knocking around, and you're like, well, Grant, you're a mechanic, kind of a mechanic. You do this stuff. Why don't you fix it? I don't give a shit. It's not my car, and it's running. So, you know, I mean, my parents always bring their shit to the shop anyways, so when it breaks, someone else will fix it, and I'm not going to be surprised when it breaks. I'm just going to want to know what it was so that I can tie up the loose ends in my mind that wonder what it is. And yeah, that's about all. That's really the only reason I started recording, is because this thing's just toast. Alright, we're back. I don't know if I showed you guys this. Got my boost gauge up here. It was down there, and I got a trans temp for the auto trans, but I gotta fix that. But fuck that auto. One second, I'm getting a phone call. Fucking spam. Anyways, I moved my boost gauge up here where the trans temp was. Got our EGT RPM gauge, and then down here I just put in coolant and oil pressure because I didn't really trust the stock ones, but it seems like the stock ones weren't too bad now, looking at what those ones do. I still gotta screw this boot down. And yeah, let's pop the hood. Okay. Beautiful titanium intake. Pretty soon we're gonna have the manifold on. Oh, these are for sale. Let's talk about that for a minute. So, I don't really like the fit of these. I want this to move back a bit. Let's see. Yeah, I pretty much just want this to move back further. So this will come like this, 45, and then be shorter here, and then 45 like that. so that this can be like more back here. And eventually I'll build a box for it, I'm thinking. So this is like version 1. But you can buy, if you buy one off my site, it'll be different than this. It'll fit, like this will be further back, so that it's not touching here. I mean, it's not touching hard, it's not like pushing on it, but it is touching. It will come with one of these boots, 1, 2, 3 clamps, S&B air filter, cleanable air filter. This is raw titanium finish. It will also come in polished, blue anodized, or heat treated like this part is. So this is just the raw, and then you can get one that's like purple gold fancy heat treated like that. Let me show you guys so you can see what the blue anodized looks like. There. So, I mean, this is 2.5 inch, but it would be 4 inch as well. They're all 4 inch. So head over to the website. We've got that on there. We also have the braided hose kit. These are rated for, okay, the stainless braided ones are rated for 4,000 psi working pressure. The nylon, black nylon, braided lines are rated for 3,000, both of which is well over what you need for power steering. All AN fittings. There's adapters to go into the power steering box and into the steering box, steering gear box. You can see these fittings here. I got them plugged right now. But there's this one is a smaller one, and this one is identical to the one that goes in the power steering box. But then this one is a bit bigger. So when you get, if you order it and you get this kit, remember the big one goes in the back port, and then this one is the same. There will be 2 of these. They're the same. One goes here, one goes in the power steering box. And then you want to make sure that the fitting that threads into the power steering box, the line coming from that fitting goes to this one, to this fitting. And then the one that has the hose end, instead of the braided end, goes to this fitting. And then that's literally all it is. You just pull your old ones out, unscrew them here and here, unscrew one on the power steering box, take the hose end off on the other one. They're out. Same procedure to put them back in. You thread these fittings in, thread one into the power steering box, and screw them on and slide the hose end over on the power steering return line, and you're set. So everything comes included in the kit, everything you need. The non-braided hose is gonna come a little bit long, so you can leave it how it is, or you can trim it to get the fitment that you want. So yeah, that's what's up right now. We're gonna have the braided heater hose lines up for sale. The manifold will be up for sale soon. Not this manifold, but the quote sixtopus, we call it. The sixtopus will be on this website for sale. And probably some intercooler piping we're going to be doing, as well as coolant pipes and maybe a gauge pod and some other things. So, this electric fan setup we're probably going to start offering. If we can find something that's universal, a design that's universal enough. So stay tuned for that stuff. I'll put the link to that website in the description of this video, so go check it out. All right. Since we were just talking about it, this is what the polished titanium looks like. This is what I'm doing my intercooler pipe out of. This is what I came over here to talk about. This is the vacuum pump. Power steering pump bolts on to these four. And there's that shaft I was talking about inside here. So we're going to clean up the block. We've already cleaned this up nice. Got the new gasket on that I already had because I bought that male engine reseal kit. So we're gonna throw this on. I'm thinking about putting some gasket maker on here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is that gonna be good or is that gonna be bad? Because this is a crush style gasket. Now I gotta wash this bitch off. This is a crush gasket. But I don't know. Let me know. Gasket maker or no gasket maker? So yeah, we'll clean that off. We'll clean the motor off. Right down there. Where it goes on. And, I'll get right back with you guys. Alright, so I did some... This is the oil line that goes on the bottom of the vacuum pump. I did some crud scraping on the side of the block and up here. Lots of oil and dirt caked on. I'm gonna wipe this down with some acetone on a rag because I don't have brake clean. And we will bolt the vacuum pump on. It's just those two bolts. And then one here. Actually, that goes technically on the power steering pump, but I'll show you when it gets to that point. So yeah, let's clean that up and then we'll throw the vacuum pump in. Actually, no, that's not true. First, we have to connect the vacuum pump and the power steering pump and put them in as one piece. Also, gotta appreciate the transfer case reseal. Timing case reseal. I did also reseal the transfer case, but yeah, I just resealed the timing case, did the KDP, and we are leak free 99% now. Good old 12 valves, gotta love it. Alright, so got everything on the bench here. Not everything. Now we got everything, except for the tools, of course. Hardware, vacuum pump, power steering pump. So, this is what I mean when I was telling you about that. This shaft goes in here, and this, there's two teeth on the vacuum pump that go here and here, just like this, exactly like this, except they go this way, and they lock in and spin. Sometimes those will break off, but my power steering pump looked just like this. My vacuum pump looks good too, so I don't know what's up with that, but we're gonna replace this anyways and see what happens. I've redone like everything on this truck at this point. You know, I may as well get this shit done too and have everything be redone. I'm sure other things will break, little things, but I'll fix them too, because we're gonna get this truck perfect, because it's going to be my work truck as well as a show truck. I want to do mobile fab with it, because I got the generator on the back to run my welder if I need. Okay, so one thing I want to check. I cut this off when I was building my lines so that I could try and fit an AN line over that, but that didn't work. So I want to see if this line will, This is a 5/16 line. I want to see if this will fit, and I think it will. It's a little tight. You might want to go a size up. I don't want you guys to have to cut your head off of this when you go to install my kit, so I'll probably go a size up for you guys. Yeah, see, that's not quite far enough on. I'll be able to get this on there, I think, but for you guys, I'm gonna go a size up. This is 5/16, I believe. This will all come bigger, so it'll slide over there. When you guys get the kit, you just thread these on to the fittings that you screw in, and then the only thing you have to do, thread this on, slide this over this, put that on, and then the other line, this will already be in your pump. Thread this on, thread that on, you're good to go. So it's a pretty simple install. Pull this plug out. Oh, what the fuck, dude? You seriously? They seriously don't fucking supply that shit? These are the bolts that hold this cover on. I need to go get those from my core that I dropped off at Advance now. That's ridiculous. That is really dumb. Alright, okay, I guess I'll call them and make sure they don't do anything with that core. Okay. Advance is gonna hold on to that for me till I can get down there. That's really fucking stupid, but oh well. That's alright. Minor inconvenience. So, yeah, I guess I'll bolt this on. So, the way mine was when it came off. What the shit, dude? I gotta pull the studs out of that thing, too. Oh my gosh. Alright. That's pretty annoying. Dude, those chickens are pissing me off now, too. Everything's getting to me. Alright. So apparently I gotta grab these studs out of my old box as well. So we'll see what size these are. I'll bring these down with me. Screw them on. Pull that out. Pull them studs out. And I know those bolts on the front are 18 mil. So we will bring an 18 millimeter wrench. Let's see what size these are. Alright. These are a 15. Those bolts on the front I know are 18s. So looks like we're gonna have to hit pause until I can get to Advance, but that's okay. Oh yeah, let me show you this. So apparently these like to, because there's a lot of stress on the steering system in these trucks, so these like to pull apart at this flange or something like that, bend, I don't know. So there's these spacers in there on the inside This is the block side, and this is the side that's kind of towards the steering box, towards the frame rail. So these spacers were here like this to, they went on the studs that stick out here and bolt on there to keep it spaced correctly. And then this piece is the 10 mil down there that I was telling you guys about. And this goes like this, I believe. Or maybe, yeah, this goes like that. And bolts to the block as just an extra support to keep it from flexing or anything like that. So we're gonna go see what else we can do to the truck while we wait for one of my parents to get home so that I can take their car. All right, so I want to throw some wire loom on this oil pressure sensor line, because if that wears through and leaks oil, that would be really annoying. All right, I'm gonna take a break from the camera, see what I can do, and I'll get back with you guys. All right, so came under here with my favorite wire loom, and I loomed this is the coolant temp line, and then as we get up to the hole where I was worried about this rubbing through, that joins into the wire loom to protect that. And then if we come out here, I loomed that up. That comes out, goes down a little ways, and then I have another piece right there. I can't reach it, and that goes down to the oil pressure sensor port. So that's all protected now. Doesn't look as nice as I'd like it to. There's like a gap there, and it just isn't my best work. But eventually I'll get in there, and maybe I'll do that today. So the coolant line kind of wraps around the oil line, so I should kind of take the oil line off and separate the coolant line, reconnect the oil line, and that would be a lot nicer. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Oh, also, guys, I need you to remind me to get a fuel filter when I go back to Advance, because I've been there like 3 times, and every time I have forgotten to get a fuel filter, and I need one bad, because this one is leaking and definitely old and nasty. And also let me know in the comments, will a GNR diesel billet cat fuel filter adapter for a 2nd gen 24 valve, I think it's for a 24 valve, fit this 12 valve? Can I, the housing that the cat filter screws into, GNR makes one of them. And I want to know if that'll fit, because my buddy has one for sale, and I want it. But I'm not sure if it'll fit, and I don't want to spend the money if it's not going to fit. So let me know, will that fit? Because if it will, I'm definitely getting it. And getting a fucking nasty cat filter. Plus billet shit is like fucking duh. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Will a 24 valve GNR diesel cat fuel filter adapter fit a 12 valve? Let's fix those lines. Alright, so we got that coolant sensor line coiled up, zip tied, untangled from the oil feed line for the sensor. So we got them untangled, got the coolant sensor line coiled up and zip tied, and reran that wire loom. So that's good now. I gotta trim a zip tie over here, one that I forgot to. Good. So I guess I'll tell you guys a little bit about my plan. When I do the fusible link delete, all these are gonna get snipped. This is gonna get removed, and it's all gonna get run to a fuse panel on here, at which point I'm going to run this to the fuse panel instead of into the cab, so it's not there anymore. This will still have to run into the cab, but I'm gonna tidy it up. And then this is the previous owner's way of running the starter wire. Gotta fix that, because that's gay. I probably shouldn't say that, because that's nasty. It doesn't look good. It's shitty. So we will redo that so that we just have the starter wire running down, and then that starter wire will get loomed, and then it should be nice and clean. So yeah, you guys wouldn't believe the mess that was in here. I deleted the grid heater solenoid and took the grid heater wiring that went from the solenoids to the grid heater out. I still have the grid heater in there. I'm gonna get a delete for it. Throw that in. Gonna do a new intake horn, new intercooler pipe on that side. But yeah, so we took the cruise control out because I'm not gonna be doing, well, I don't know. I may at some point be doing long trips. If I am, I'll throw the cruise control back in. But for now, I just wanted to clean it up, get that out of there. I've got like a 2.5 hour trip to Carlisle, and I wanted it to look clean for that show, but you know, 2.5 hours. Yeah, I could use cruise control, but it's really not that far, so we'll do it without. All right, guys, now we're in the dad truck, and we are headed back to Advance. I got my tools. We're gonna pull those studs and the 2 bolts, and then we're gonna hopefully get this thing in and have power steering. So we will see you there. All right, guys, we got them, and we are heading out to get back home and get that new pump in. I was gonna get my fuel filter, but this morning I got a notification that there was fraud on my card, so I have to go get a new one. And so I wasn't able to actually buy the fuel filter or the switch that I need for my fan to turn my fans on. So that's gonna have to wait. but it's okay because we at least can get the power steering pump on. The fuel filter can wait at least for a little bit. So we will get the pump on, vacuum pump and power steering pump, and test her out. Alright, I'll see you guys back home. Alright, we got our hardware. We're going to install it in the new pump and get these things put together, put them back in. Alright, so the long studs go on the inside, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they do. The inside. Long studs go on the inside, short thread into the pump. I don't know why they don't put hex heads on the ends of all studs. Like, it's so helpful. I had to run down to Advance with 2 nuts and pull all these studs out while all the guys were just standing there watching me. But yeah, so we got that done. Went pretty easily with all the power steering fluid on this shit. They came right out. And then this goes on. Right like that. But I need to line up these little teeth with the grooves there. And I also need to, you know what, did I? Yep, I think I put the studs in the wrong spot. And alright, then we take our, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 washers. Not my ideal choice, but it'll work. This I like much better. I don't think that's factory, but that's nice. It's an actual decent spacer. Alright, and then hose line, return line, vacuum nipple, and they go in like that. And then we'll spin this gear until they line up. You guys hear that? I'm gonna investigate a little bit. Alright, the only thing that's moving is that T-shaped thing right there on the outside. It's just sliding back and forth a little bit. I think that's normal. So let's try again to get these in. So let's put this one parallel like so, going this way, so that this one, we can also make it like that. And lose all my spacers. Not sure why it's not dropping down that last little bit. Alright, I'm gonna hop off camera, try to figure this out. Alright guys, I had a hell of a time getting that power steering pump into the vacuum pump. It's pretty tricky to get it lined up. What I ended up doing, I couldn't get it to press in right down here where it presses in there. It's a pretty tight fit with the new one. I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to be like that. It's just because it's an aftermarket part. So I ended up having to get it most of the way on, tighten it down evenly with the nuts here, the 4 nuts. And then as I was tightening, I was twisting the gear on the end to get those little teeth lined up between the shafts. So I felt it pop in, and then it was turning good, so it's lined up. I believe it was the power steering pump that was bad, because me and my buddy were messing with it, and the shaft that goes in here, he picked up on that and it came out, and we didn't really think anything of it. We just thought that was a normal thing, but I'm pretty sure that was sheared off, and so it wasn't pumping fluid. So hopefully this will fix it. We got the pressure line back on, the power steering pump fitting is in. This is a good time to show you guys. This is the if you buy my kit, this is the return line that goes to this hard line on the pump. And then there, let's get a better angle here. You can see down here it transfers from rubber to braided with a nice hose barb and AN fitting. Nothing janky there. It's not going to leak on you. I've already had it going. It hasn't leaked on me. And then comes down here, and you've got your 90 degree, and the pressure, or the return line goes to this front smaller fitting. And I don't know if you guys can really tell, but this rear fitting is just a tad bit bigger, and that's where the pressure line from the pump goes. So I'll show it to you once it's all assembled. We'll get some fluid in it, bleed it, and hopefully we'll have power steering. Alright, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You can see on this one, it's twisted like that. I put this fitting on and I didn't get it clocked right. So like if it were laying on a bench, this one, it would come like this. Like it would come out of there straight and then go like that, when it should come out, go straight and then come down. So on your kits, it will not be twisted like that. I will make sure to get those clocked correctly. And then when you go to tighten these, as you tighten this with the wrench, you spin it this way with the wrench, it'll want to pull this way. So get as much force, like hold this way and wrench on that. And you really don't have to get these all that tight. They'll seal pretty quickly, but get them nice and snug. And like once you can't hold this anymore and it starts pushing even with you against it, then it's tight enough. Don't try to push it more. You like, these really don't need, because they're aluminum threads and these seal really quick. These chamfers or ferrules or whatever you want to call them, they seal pretty good. So don't crank on it like crazy. Just get it nice and snug, good pull on it on the wrench, and let her go. If it is leaking, you can always come back and tighten it. You can't fix it if you strip it, so just be conscious of that. Wheels on the ground. Fucking mint, bud. Fucking beautiful. Would you look at this? Yeah.
Wonder why that is.
I got gears. Alright guys, I kind of forgot to finish recording because I was so happy that this thing got going. Power steering's mint. It was the power steering pump, so we got that done, took it for a ride. It's working great. Everything I had to check is working. It's not getting too hot. The fans are kicking on. It's just all my hard work has paid off and it's doing great. But we're not finished. We got the downpipe off, and I guess I'll bring you guys inside and show you what we're working on. A couple more little things to finish that up. Just little finishing touches, but I won't bore you with the details on that. Now we're working on the fender dump downpipe. It's not actually I'm not cutting a hole in my fender. It's just gonna come out in the top corner. But it is a fender dump. So it's gonna come 90 down a little further, 90 out, 45, 45, 45. And so we're getting that tacked up. We got this HX40 flange, HX35 flange, and I guess that's where we're going to finish the video for today. This is probably going to be a long one. If you guys stuck around through the whole video, I am hugely thankful to you, trying to get this YouTube channel going, and you know, those views, every little bit helps. Watch time is super important. So I'm really happy with you guys that have stayed to the end. Really appreciate the support, and let's keep doing awesome shit. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.